sunrise. Pass me a drink or maybe two, one for me and one for you, and we'll be free, 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 free. Here comes the corner winds and the changing tide. We better drop them sails and get inside. When will the weather ever let us go? I guess we'll have to wait until them trade winds blow, and we'll be free, 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 free. There is nothing in between what we are, what we see. There is nothing in between what we are, what we see, what we are. We are just on a lifeboat sailing home, with our drunken hearts and our tired bones. Will I just take one last look around? Yeah, and every place feels like a familiar town. Now we're free, 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 free. From time to time a little free. Well, hey now, free. I know you're free. Feels so good to be free. Yeah. The air was more than human, and the heat was more than hungry, and the cars were square and spitting diesel fumes. The bulls were running wild because they're big and mean and sacred, and the children were playing cricket with no shoes. The next morning we woke a man to a 7-hour drive. But there we were stuck in Port Blair, where boats break and children stare. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven. I said there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven. Disembarking from the port with no mistakes of any sort, moving south, the engine running smooth. Officials were quite friendly once we drowned them with our sweet talk, and we bribed them with our cigarettes and booze. The next morning we woke a man with the sunrise to the right, moving back north to Port Blair, where boats break and them children stare. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven. I said there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven. And there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven. I said there were so many fewer questions when stars were still just the holes to heaven.